Bonjour, this is Bruno LARVOL, and you're listening to the Building Public LARVOL CLIN podcast. Once in a week, we discuss our progress, our plans with our flagship product, LARVOL CLIN. LARVOL CLIN is, think about it as the Wikipedia of cancer clinical trial data. So we take every single nugget of data from clinical trials in cancer, and we put it in a single place, and we enable analytics and AI. On top, today we have with us the owner, the product manager, the main person for LARVOL CLIN. Kalpana joined us today on the podcast. Hello, Kalpana.
Hi, Bruno. I'm glad to join this podcast today.
It's wonderful to have you here. And you're building this product, FOAM, as we say, is in our motto. And FOAM stands for?
Fast. We are fast on a mission.
Fast on a mission. Yes, we are fast, and we are on a mission to build the reference knowledge base for cancer data. So what we decided to do today is to focus on one trial that just got information released yesterday, a very high-profile trial called Mariposa, and to take it as an example to guide you through how is CLIN organized. So if you're interested in Mariposa, good idea to listen. If you're interested in CLIN in general, that's also a great walkthrough. And as we get ready for ACR and then ASCO, you can then see how CLIN could be a good tool for you. As you're listening, please post any questions you have. We're live, so post any question you have. We love to make it interactive, and we'll do our best to answer. Also, if you like this content, like it, subscribe. That would be a very nice support and encouragement for us to produce more similar content. So I'm going to now go on mute a little bit and let you, Kalpana, give us a walkthrough CLIN using Mariposa trial as an example. The microphone is for you, Kalpana.
Yeah, thank you, Bruno. Okay, hi everyone, I'm Kalpana. So this is CLIN database most of you might have visited. Okay, so here we have a couple of tabs. So today's focus is about Mariposa trial. So under the trials tab, you can see or search for Mariposa trial if you are interested in a specific trial. If you're not interested in a specific trial, but I wanted to do a general search, go to advanced search, and here there are a couple of filters and you can use them. Okay, so diving into Mariposa trial. So here you see the Mariposa trial. We have the sponsor over here and the NCTID trial title, and we have a couple of details related to the trial. Here, right now, we have ranked this particular trial as practice informing based on the tweets. And we have a couple of tabs till now. So here, publications, Twitter reactions, landscapes, game plot, forest plot, and a couple of other tabs. So as you said, Bruno, so we have a blockbuster news, and you see that news over here. It is from EMA 2025, and also we have recently from Canada Newswire 2025. So in the publications tab, you see all the news that are arranged in reverse chronological order, and each of the titles are hyperlinked to the original source. So for example, if I have to go to this EMA 2025 news, I can click on this such that I land upon the original source. Hope you are able to see the news source. And you can see the details over here. And similarly, if it is Canada Newswire, I can click on it. I can go to that specific news source. So this news is released in March 10, 2025, and you can get all the details over here. Okay, so similarly, you can go to all the details. You can dive into all the details in reverse chronological order. That is the reason why we are calling this is the Wikipedia of oncology database. Moving to the next tab, this is the Twitter reactions. So as you see the number over here, it has 395 Twitter reactions for now. And we, in LARVOL, we do curative analysis of all the Twitter reactions. We add the sentiment for all the tweets. And at the top, you will be able to see a couple of analytics. So here for this particular trial, it is a practice informing according to our rating. So that is why we are showing it as like practice informing. And to the right hand side, you see the donut chart where you can see like how many tweets are there, and the segregation you can see in the top in the form of a legend where you can see 21 negative reactions, 199 not rated. I'm sorry. So there are practice informing 4, practice changing 4.
To clarify one thing, these posts, these tweet posts, X posts, are from
Yes.
not anybody, not from me, not from my mother, not from you even. They're all from verified oncologists. So our team is tracking 6,000 oncologists on X, and any post they have related to a cancer clinical trial, our AI, QC'd by our team, would index and analyze that commentary, that reaction to the trial.
Yes. So at the bottom, you'll be able to see all the tweets which are organized based on the press release or based on the abstract or publication. And the specific sentiment is also mentioned for each of the tweets. Okay.
A key question here is whether or not the new data, which is now the OS data, the survival data, we already had the primary endpoint, which is PFS, progression-free survival. So the PFS led us to rate that data, that trial, as practice informing. It's going to be interesting to see whether the additional OS, even if it's a secondary data, would further, I guess, boost the impact of that trial into being practice changing, to be really defining a new standard of care. Do we have an indication of that, or do we need to have more reactions sort of percolate into our system to be able to make that determination?
Okay, we can wait for 1 or 2 days to get more tweets. The oncologists have started tweeting on it more. So as and when we get more data and more number of reactions, so then probably we have to update it to practice changing.
Understand.
Yeah. So that is on
another
the
little request from me. If you go back to the list of Twitter reaction, can we zoom in on the negative reaction? Maybe go to the donut chart, or yeah. And I'm also interested. I know some other the negative is what the interesting stuff is, right? And so if you click on it, then you have all the negative and 3 comments about toxicity, one about the cost of the drug, toxicity. So it seems that it's toxicity and reimbursement. So it seems that the negatives have to do with toxicity and reimbursement. Sometimes we also have negative reaction about the way the trial is designed, or, and so on and so forth. Ethical consideration at time about the trial design. But here it seems to be toxicity and reimbursement.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Mostly it is toxicity and financial reimbursement. So the trial design is good.
Understand.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Next, we can move to the landscapes tab. Landscapes tab includes all the data tables where Mariposa trial is referred in. It can be from a Twitter, and it can be published in a publication in the form of meta-analysis, or it can be as part of conference presentation. So we compile all the data and keep it in the landscapes format. And by the way, side note, we also have our curated landscapes, which we collect from our side. It is not a public one, but we customize it for our customers. So that is a side note.
I would add that about 50 third-party landscape published indicates that Mariposa is a very high-profile trial, that people take the time to create comparison table between Mariposa and other competing or comparable trials for that population, the population of the trial, which is locally advanced or metastatic non-small cell. It's not a population that is defined very much from in the entry criteria with regard to molecular definition, right? At least in the title, there's no biomarker mentioned. But so
Yes,
it's metastatic or locally advanced non-small cell.
correct. Yeah. And now moving to the KM plot tab. KM plot tab, it includes all the digitized, or we re-render the curves which are published into a digitized format such that we can compare it with the other trials, or it can be within the trial also. For example, here we have one curve from 2024 and the other curve from ESMO 2023. If you wanted to compare like how much progress it has made in terms of overall survival, we should be able to do with our database over here. So that is briefly about the KM plot. Forest plot shows, sorry, it is loading. Yeah, forest plot shows all the HR data, and it includes both the subgroup and also the ITT patients. So you can see all patients at the top and bottom. You can see the Asian patients and also subgroups based on age, based on gender, based on weight category. What are the subgroups that are given by the publication? We capture all those information over here. And coming to the response, these are the non-time to events, including ORR, CR, PR, SD values, which are sourced based on the reference, and we display all of them in terms of ITT and subgroups data. And moving to the adverse events, we capture both general adverse events and specific adverse events. We capture mostly grade greater than or equal to 3 for the specific adverse events. But if someone is interested or any customer is in requirement of any specific criteria, we do include them. And timelines include all the milestones starting from the study start date to the primary completion, and beyond that, if there are any endpoints, something like if it is an approval or if there is any follow-up data release, we do capture those information, and you can see all the timeline data here for Mariposa.
I noticed as you went through the first plot that there was some OS data. I assume
Yes,
that's the interim
correct.
OS data, which was
Yes,
published a year or two ago. Is that right? When was the OS data interim
it was in
published? 24.
2024.
Okay, so
Yes,
last year. So that was, and these were interim data. And now we have
correct.
the final data published today or yesterday.
Yes, yes. Hopefully, Mariposa will get more rendering in the Twitter reactions or in the form of expos. So we capture them and upgrade its status, and it is readily available to all the customers. So
Uh,
we'll see.
so thank you for that outline. I've got a couple of comments, and then we'll be closing the podcast in a few minutes. But so the core of LARVOL CLIN is clinical data. It's clinical trial. So the main page of CLIN are these Wikipedia like 360 degree page on everything about a trial. So that's why it's the first tab. But just to go very quickly through it, we have other pages. You have all the conferences, for example, that are indexed, analyzed, and you can navigate the data of the top, 30 cancer conference that are indexed here, maybe something like that.
Yes,
You have a page on every drug, a page on every company. Then you have a way to navigate and compare KM curve to create on the fly forest plot. Uh, you have a way to look at all the influences.
yep,
You have a way to navigate landscapes, and you have a way to look at key population. I just cannot help but make a comment about key population. We just released that feature uh,
yes,
in terms of new functionality. So actually, if you don't mind, let's try to look where Mariposa fits. Let's pick instead metastatic non-small cell. Right, let's try to find non-small cell. So you type the tumor type, and we've got the metastatic. Let's see, where is it? Well, we have first line. So let's pick first line. Was Mariposa first line only, by the way, or
Uh,
any line of therapy?
any line of therapy for advanced.
Okay.
It is there in the
Okay.
first line. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we have it here, and okay, and we have it here because on the first tab under that key population we have landscape and meta-analysis. Why don't we go there
Correct.
for a second? And on that tab, what we do is that we have aggregated all of the analysis table comparing trial in first line non-small cell lung. Now, of course, the most recent one are the most valuable, and the older one are less relevant. But we can see what are the trials that Mariposa has compared with. Let's click on that one. Let's try to see. This is a JAMA article. Is there a way to try to find the high res? If you click on it, maybe not. Let's look at one maybe that were found in X. All right, let's continue to look for it.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's look at what did Mariposa compare to, and then we'll close on this note.
Yeah.
Right.
Mariposa is mostly compared to this Flora, Flora 2, and Papillon trials.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So we Kepler, we out of time.
Yes.
But I wanted to thank you for all the work that you and your team are doing, and both the programmers and the annotators. AI, of course, is helping a great deal too, and increasingly. And
Yes.
I hope that people listening, if you're interested, there's a way to sign up for 1 month to CLIN. And please do that, or reach out to us and we'll give you a demo. We love to give demo about this platform. We're very proud of the work we've done, and we're excited about how to help the oncology community in many other ways. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining. And Kalpana, I look forward to having you again in the podcast very soon.